And our word for today on this Thursday of the 5th week in Ordinary Time, this Thursday, February the 8th, our word for today, unreservedly. Unreservedly, our word for today, comes from our first reading from the first book of Kings, chapter 11. After Solomon has disobeyed the Lord, Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not follow him unreservedly, as his father David had done. The Lord therefore became angry with Solomon because his heart was turned away from the Lord, the God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice. For though the Lord had forbidden him this very act of following strange gods, Solomon had not obeyed him. He did not follow him unreservedly. Now we go to our gospel reading for today. Jesus went to the district of Tyre. He entered a house and wanted no one to know about it, but he could not escape notice. Then, of course, he has the encounter with the Greek woman. He said to her, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not right to take the food of the children and throw it to the dogs." She replied and said to him, "Lord, even the dogs under the table eat the children's scraps." Then he said to her, "For saying this you may go. The demon has gone out of your daughter." Again, our word for today, unreservedly. In our first reading, we see that King Solomon, though he had been given much, though he had been blessed in so many ways, particularly with a gift of wisdom that was greater than anyone had ever received before this gift of wisdom, and that wisdom had led him to great success. We see it earlier in yesterday's readings with the Queen of Bathsheba coming and sitting at his feet to receive this wisdom and this acknowledgement that his military had benefited from that his kingdom had benefited from that, and that he himself had benefited from that with many treasures and many gifts. And yet he held things back for himself. He didn't follow the Lord unreservedly. He served himself in addition to serving the Lord. What we see in this woman, who is not an Israelite woman, who in fact is Greek, she holds nothing back, and she allows nothing to be held back from her. In fact, she comes to him unreservedly. This is what our Holy Father says about today's gospel reading. He shared this during his Angelus address, August of last year. "Now let us look at the woman's faith, which the Lord praises, saying that it is great." If we think about it, the foreign woman had probably little or no awareness of the laws and religious precepts of Israel. What does her faith consist of then? She doesn't have a wealth of concepts, but of deeds. The Canaanite woman draws near, prostrates herself, insists, takes part in a close dialogue with Jesus, overcomes every obstacle just to speak with him. This woman's faith is not fraught with theological gallantry, but with insistence. She knocks on the door, and the Lord answers. And so we are drawn to this. We are drawn to the faith of this woman. What sets her faith apart? She asks without reservation. She puts herself completely out there. James says it this way in the first chapter, verse 7 and 8 of the letter of James. "Ask in faith, not doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed about by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord, since he is a man of two minds, unstable in all of his ways." He might as well have concluded that by saying, like Solomon, but not like the woman in today's gospel reading, who approaches the Lord unreservedly, believing that the Lord can do all things, and he in fact does. Unreservedly, our word for today.